You know those skirts for native outfits that will have waistband, zip at the back, and elastic on both sides? In this video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew skirts like that. Hi, my name is Oluwatosin. In case this is the first time you are seeing my channel, and you're welcome. To all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. In case you're new here, please consider subscribing, and don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I upload a new video on this channel. So in this video, I'll be teaching you how to cut a skirt with waistband, then zip at the back and elastic on both sides. You can actually use a band like this for any native skirt at all, be it pencil skirts, PC skirts, regardless of the style of the skirt. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will be using it on a pencil skirt. Now, considering that this my fabric is lace, I lined it with doll face, and then I had to line it twice, like it has double lining at the back with single lining at the front. So I started by cutting, like marking my measurements on the doll face first before transferring it to the actual fabric, which is the lace. So for this doll face, what I put into consideration is the highest measurement between the skirt waist and the hip. It happens to be this person's hip. There are a few cases that it can be the person's skirt waist, maybe people with very big tummy or pregnant people. But in our case, it is our hip. So I measured that hip and I added 10 inches allowance. This 10 inches allowance includes allowance for turning, allowance for sewing, the zip allowance, the slits, everything is included in this 10 inches. So the hip plus 10 inches allowance, then I folded that into four, leaving zip allowance of 2 inches at the back. I used 2 inches for my zip allowance. You can use 1 inch and you can as well use 1.5. I just chose to use 2 inches for mine. The next is to figure out the length of this skirt. So when I'm considering the length, I have to consider that this skirt has a band, and this band will be 2 inches wide. So I put the 2 inches up and then I measured the rest of the length. And because I'm using lace, you know that this is a lining for the lace because it will be lined twice. This lining should not be as long as the lace. So I had to deduct 2 inches from the length for this doll face. When I want to measure the length on the lace, I'll make it the exact length, no deduction. So the next is to divide the waistline by 4, mark that I added 2 inches allowance. You can use 1.5 inch as your allowance. Then the hip divided by 4, I marked that I added 2 inches allowance as well. Now, the pencil part of this skirt, you have to determine how pencil you want it to be. So the owner of this skirt doesn't want it too pencil. So what I did was just to deduct 5 inches from my hip. Then what was remaining, I divided it by 4 and I added 2 inches sewing allowance. So you have to determine how pencil you want your skirt to be. Then I connected these 3 points together from the full length down to the hip and then to the waistline, and I proceeded to cutting this out. So what is next after cutting out is to mark out your darts. You know that I used nipple to nipple. This person's nipple to nipple is 5 on fold, as in 10. So 5 on fold of 2 like this. So I had to mark that 5 for the width, like the distance between the two darts, and for the length of the dart I used 5 excluding the band. So I marked 5 excluding the band, then I notched that point and I proceeded to drawing the line there, so that when I get to my sewing machine it's just to follow the marking and just stitch the dart. Now I transferred the dog face to the lace and I just placed the 2 inches, which will be the band, up, and I measured the rest of the length while the door face is on the lace, just like this, so that I can be able to figure out the actual length of the skirt on the lace now. So you can see the way I'm placing my tape rule is not starting from the edge. I placed that 2 inches up before I measured the length. The 2 inches will be the band. So I'm cutting for back first before I'll later go back and cut for the front. So it's at this point that I'll be doing the butt contour. So at the upper part of the skirt, the zip allowance that I used 2 initially, at the waistline I used 1, and at the down of the skirt as well I used one. Then at the hip side I left it at these 2 inches. This was the main reason I used 2 inches as my zip allowance initially. So I'm going to be cutting it out to follow the butt shape, and I proceeded to cutting the rest of it out. Now that's it for the back. The next is to transfer my doll face to the lace fabric, which I did, and I proceeded to cut now. Just be mindful of the length. Don't forget that the length of the lace and the doll face should not be on the same length if you are using lace for your own skirt as well. Now, what is next is I'll be cutting lining for the back, because the back will be double lined because of the way I'll be turning the slit. You know, the slit is all the slits that will not lap, but I'll just be exposed. And you know that when you are using lace for that kind of slit, it is better to line it twice so that the slit will be very, very neat. It's better to line it twice when you are using lace for a skirt or a dress that has that kind of slit at the back. Now, for the lining of this back, I didn't cut the width the same size as the doll face. I made the width 1.5 inch shorter than the doll face, not the length, the width. I mean sideways. I made it 1.5 inch shorter than the doll face. So you can see me, I'm marking out the 1.5 inch now from up to down. So I'll just proceed to cutting it out from the lining, so that the lining will be a bit short on the side. Look at the way it's looking now on the side, so that when I turn it, this is how the doll face will be. It will not be, the lining will not be showing. Even when the person is walking, the lining will not show at all. They will just keep seeing the doll face. The second lining will not show at all. So when I'm sewing, when I'm turning, I will use hemming gum to turn that side, so that when I press it down, everything will just come down and the second lining will not be showing at all. It's only the doll face that will show, if anything will show at all. Now for this band, I love to cut my band after I'm done shaping my skirt and cropping the front. You know, for skirts like this, the front has to be shorter than the back. So I love to cut my band after I'm done shaping the skirt and cropping the front, so that I can know the exact length that I'll be using as my band. And that will come up in the sewing tutorial of this skirt, because this tutorial is just a cutting tutorial like I said earlier. So in my next tutorial, I'll be uploading a detailed video on how I was able to sew this skirt together step by step. Very lengthy and well detailed video on how I was able to achieve the sewing of this skirt, and it's in that tutorial that I'll be cutting the band after I must have shaped the sides and cropped the front. So thank you for watching this particular tutorial. If it has been helpful to you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you've not subscribed, kindly do, and don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you'll be able to notify you next time I upload a new video on this channel. I made a tutorial on how I made this simple yet beautiful blouse for this skirt as well. The video will come up in my subsequent upload. If you have any question, please ask me down in the comment section. As much as you can help me share this video amidst your friends and soulmates you don't know who this video might be helpful to. And if you want to see the sewing tutorial of this skirt, click on the box on the right side of your screen. If you want to see the cutting and sewing tutorial of the blouse that I paired this skirt with, then click on the box on the left side of your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.